I'm Todd Bookspan, and welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. The hyperlocal real estate show where real estate professionals talk about the neighborhood you live in or the neighborhood you want to live in. This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net. Your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today. Hey everyone, I'm Todd Bookspan and welcome to another episode of Your Neighborhood Real Estate Show. And I'm excited to have a guest that you all may remember. I've got RichBarker, Mr. Fountain Hills. What's going on, Rich?
Not much. Thank you for having me. Glad I could get back here after a few years.
It's been a few years. You were part of the original show. We kind of went on hiatus because of the health situation, and it's good to be back. And so I shouldn't just call you Mr. Fountain Hills because I know that you do real estate all over. But real quick, for someone who didn't watch the show, kind of give a little background of who you are, how you got in the business, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I got back in the business in March of 2010, and not obviously the greatest time. That was right. We had, 40, 50,000 homes on the market. It was something crazy. Like 10-year supply or 10 something. 10-year supply. And that's when I got into the industry. And over the course of the next, 10, 11 years, I built up a team, and we do work the whole valley. But Fountain Hills is where I live. So we just kind of really went really micro inside the Fountain Hills.
Well, and I love the fact that, because I know the business that you've built, and to think that you've built it in just over a decade is super impressive. And so some people might say, well, how did this guy get into the business then? He's got some gray hair. Yeah. So what was your previous career for those who don't know?
Yeah, for the previous career, I was former major league pitcher with the Chicago Cubs. And then when I got out of that industry due to an injury, I opened up a sports performance training facility. And that's when the market was going crazy and booming. And then it just took a turn. So we had to shut that down. And I got into real estate at that time. And I love it. One of my friends, he's a big developer in the East Valley and actually all over the valley, got me into real estate. Said, you'd be pretty good at this. You might want to look at it. And here I am.
Which is funny because I must have met you right after you just started.
Yeah.
I mean, you met early on in the day. And so, and I love that you have friends who tie in. I think like friends, it's always great when you have a friend who give you great advice like that. And it is a little bit odd. You can tell he's from Boston if you can tell from the accent. But I know you're a Red Sox fan, but you pitch for the other team, and that's not your favorite team still.
Still not. It has to be. They paid me. I love the Cubs. I'm so happy they won their championship. I'm still a diehard Red Sox fan.
All right, that's good. That's good. We won't talk about the Patriots today. So
Thank you.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. So here you are in real estate. You've got a team now. You got a brokerage. I mean, where do you want to start?
Let's start with the team because that really is kind of what fulfills my bucket every single day. And just working with the team members and just working on expanding and building that business and bringing more opportunity back to the players on the team.
Yeah, and I think that's like any good coach, then any good leader, would be. And one of the things that when you and I talked at the end of last year, you said is, hey, it's different now, right? It's different now. You're doing things with the team now that you hadn't done for the last couple of years because the market was a different market. Yeah. And so what is that? What's going on in the market for someone who's not familiar with that? And then how does the team play into that?
We're even going a little bit more deeper with the team members, and we're really providing a little bit more support on the all of the social media aspect and them getting out there into the community and branding themselves through video, through different campaigns that we're providing for them. Because right now with the market, it's a tough market, and it's a great market. And the agents that are skilled right now are the ones that are winning. So we want to do everything possible to really just support them and to get them out in front of the consumer. Because right now, consumer confidence is getting good, but they really want to, they want a skilled agent.
Yeah, I think people are scared. And I think that most people don't realize it. I saw a statistic recently. I forgot. It was a pretty significant number, almost 30%, maybe better, that have been in the business only since 2020. So they've actually never worked in a market like 2010. Yeah. They don't know really what it's going to take to get a house sold in a market like now. And so your agents, the fact that you guys help do so much support and train them and all that, and you have that experience. So how does a consumer know when they're talking to an agent whether they really have the experience they need or not?
It's really arming our agents when they're out there to make sure that they're well versed in all areas of a real estate transaction. And when we go out there with our agents, especially when we go on listing appointments and we have a new agent shadow us, it's just so they can hear the different conversations. So when they're in front of a consumer, They're kind of able to speak, walk the walk and talk the talk at a very early, part of their career. And I think that shows the consumer on the other side that, we're with a pretty experienced team, and we get messages all the time. We want to work with, the Barker team. We love working with them because they are experienced. And if they don't know the answer, they go to somebody that does. And we just don't, sugarcoat and say, yeah, I don't know what we're talking about. So I think that's how the consumers kind of seeing our agents right now.
Yeah. And so someone who's listening to this, who's a newer agent, and who's the target for an agent to be on your team?
Anyone that's willing to show up, be on time, and be open-minded, honestly. I don't care if you have years of experience or you have 1 day experience. We're going to be able to find a program that's going to fit what you like to do inside the real estate world. And then once we do that, we're going to really expand it and make sure that you have success.
I love that, kind of the custom tailoring piece versus this is the way we do it and this is how you have to do it. You'll help someone figure out what the best path is for them.
I mean, back in the day when I first got into real estate, it wasn't like that, and I didn't treat it like that myself. I was like, this is the way I'm going to do it. I don't care what anyone says because this is the blueprint. And then just kind of once you start, getting the years underneath you and getting that experience, and you're like, all right, now I can kind of make it my own. I can make it fit my profile. I don't have to be I still need to be structured, but I can add my flair to it, right? And I think that's what it is. And then understanding that it's not, you don't have to do it 3-4 different things. You can really get one thing, and if you expand on it, the agent can have a lot of success, and you can just stay within your strength.
Yeah, I think that's really it. I think most people forget that their strengths are the most important thing. They work on their weaknesses, which is okay, but if you just double down on your strength, you'll probably come out a lot further ahead.
And that's especially in the market the way it is today, is that we're really honing in on what everyone's strengths are. Some people are 2 or 3, and they're executing on 2 or 3. Some people may have 2 or 3, but they're only executing on 1. So let's get rid of those other 2 or 3 right now and just make sure that you're an expert and you're doing everything possible in the direction that you want to go, because the market it's moving along good right now. It's starting to pick up a little bit, which I like to see.
Yeah.
So we just make sure we're ready.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that it's any market, whatever that market is if you've got the experience you have, then you can be ready for that market.
Absolutely, and it's really someone that's shows up, be on time, and be open minded. And it's really just immersing yourself once you're in a setting. Is really just get yourself. Whether it's with our team or any team that you may join, that goes a long way. In baseball, we say show up. Show up means be on time. 5 minutes early is 5 minutes late. And in the early levels, it's $1 a minute if you showed up 5 minutes.
Really?
Got to the big leagues, it's $100 a minute, right? Be on time. So get there 10, 15 minutes minimum before. Be open-minded. When you're there, there's more than one way than what you've, that you've been doing it, of producing results. God bless you.
I was like, all right, never sneezed on the show before. Sorry, we'll cut that out. Maybe not. Probably not. Well, I love that. And in fact, I wrote it down because you said it twice, right? Yeah. Show up, be on time, and be open-minded. I think that's really it too. I think some people come in with a preconceived notion of this is what I think it should be. And in the end, I think if you're open-minded, especially when you've got great leadership and mentorship, then there's just way more you can do, way more you can become.
There is. And it's just being open to you came over from wherever you came from for the knowledge that we have and for our program. So just, be a little bit more open-minded and see what happens. Give it a shot. Because I promise you, if you do all those 3 things and show up, be on time, be open-minded, I promise you, you're going to get something in escrow pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's so funny too, because the be on time thing is one of those things. I won't say that that's always been my strength, but it's one of those things that I've just become so much more focused on from just a personal discipline perspective, that if I know I got to be in a certain place at a certain time and I get there, then I just feel like that's going to show everyone else I've got a different level of seriousness.
It does, and growing up in Boston in high school and little league and all that, like if you weren't on time, if you were late, like you're not playing. I don't care how good you are, you're sitting. And I think that's just got instilled in me. And then in the professional baseball, you start getting paid money. You still play.
Yeah.
So you may not play in the minors, but in the big leagues, you're still going to play, but you're going to be paying a lot of money for that play. Yeah. Right? So it really got instilled into my head for that. So, yeah.
Love it. And so, we talked about the fact that the team serves the whole valley. Yeah. But Fountain Hills has kind of been your baby.
It is. I've lived up there for almost 25 years now, and I've been going there since 1994, and I just love it up there. It's just, we have a 22,000 full-time population, up to around that 29,000 when the snowbird season is right now. And it's just, there's more traffic right now, and people driving the wrong way on the rotaries or the roundabouts, what they call them. Yeah, we call them rotaries in Boston.
Rotaries, I never heard that word before.
That's a Boston. It's
All
a
right.
rotary. So it's just a great community. I love it. I love it up there. I try to do, a lot of my shopping and everything and support the town up there. So yeah, beautiful.
All right. So hint to everyone, support where you live. I just love that, right? Shop locally. Why not? And I know from a hyper local perspective, you've kind of taken it to the next level too. You're not only just out there saying we're going to do it, you're actually taking action and putting out new publication and trying to help out the community with even more information.
Yeah, I'm really excited because it's going to be ready next week. Is our first publication of kind of like a relocation guide, a community guide. And, I just seen, there's other ones out there that are really good, but I just want this to be Fountain Hills rich content for the consumer, and very, very little sponsors and advertisers in there. And it's done intentionally. And it's something that I think the community will love to have along with all the other ones. But I just want to do something a little bit different.
Yeah, I love it. Again, we all picked up those publications thinking we're going to learn something and realize it's just a page after page after page of ads. So
ads, yeah.
I think it's great that you're allowing the businesses that you love and are passionate about to be supported in there. And I love the fact that that's not the primary focus of the publication.
Yeah. I mean, we have every community broken down inside the publication with images and a short little 2-3 sentence description with a picture with a QR code, and they're going to be able to shoot that QR code, and it will pull them up to all active listings in that community. We have that for every community. So, like I said, it's about the consumer having a good experience when they're enjoying a beautiful town. So this is just one thing I think that will just help them.
Well, and I'm hearing different words. You're not saying my city, you're saying my community, my town.
Yeah.
And, you already said it's 22 to 29,000 people.
Yeah.
So when you say that there's different, sub communities within there, what does that look like? How many different areas is Fountain Hills divided into, and kind of what's the price range?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different, there's condos. A $300,000 condo could be next to a $1 million house that's right down the street. So in Fountain Hills, we don't really have many planned communities. There's probably two planned communities for single home residents. So it's very well, versed in the aspect. You spend, $300,000 on a condo, you can spend up to $5 million on a luxury home that's inside one of the gated communities like a Fire Rock or a Eagle's Nest. So, there's a lot of custom communities up there, but you're not talking the big density in those places.
Yeah, there's hills up there.
There's lots of hills.
It's not flat. And we probably said there's a big fountain, in case you wonder why it's called Fountain Hills,
It's
right?
Big fountain. It gets every St. Patty's Day they turn it green.
I've never seen it green. It's awesome.
Shoot it up green. They can't go all the way up because all the development around the fountain, so it never gets to shoot 100%, but it still gets up there.
Yeah,
it still gets up there. So
I just love whoever you probably know the story. I don't know whoever decided we're going to build a big fountain. We're just going to also place Fountain Hills. People come out here. I thought that's brilliant.
It's they it was planned to be a retirement community back in the day, and I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad they turned it around and still can service the older population, but also we do have a nice group of young people in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think every time I've been up there, I'm always surprised by the charm, but also the sophistication. I feel like it's got, sometimes you think a little community, you might not think it's going to have all the amenities that you need, but the events that I've been up to, that's why I've been there, is for events, and it's just beautiful. In the old days I used to ride my bicycle through there, but that was before it's become the size it's become now, which still isn't big, but bigger than it was.
Yeah. I mean, the events, and they're really, the city or the town and the chamber are really doing a good job of hosting events up there. We have a farmer's market now every single Wednesday. We have different ballets that are outside down at the fountain at the park, because we have a nice theater type of setting that we can have that. So they're really pushing a lot of events right now to bring in the younger generation so they can see what our city's about. And we have an observatory that's going to be, I think it's breaking ground soon, because we did get that designation as the dark city in the country, which means stargazers.
Yeah.
And,
that's super cool.
It's super cool. I think there's 12 or 14 cities and towns throughout the States, could be off on that number, that are designated that. So that's really brings that uniqueness and that charm to the home. It is dark at night though.
Yeah. It is. Well, but that's great though. I think, I think living in the city, you don't, you don't realize just how bright it is at night until you go somewhere and you're like, holy smokes, like this is what it's like outside of this town.
You can't see. It's crazy. It's tough. You can't see anything, but you do. Once you get used to it, when you live around there, it's just like driving in the daylight because you know the streets. You know, your eyes get adjusted at night pretty quickly. So
and you have headlights.
You have headlights.
They allow that. So
lots of high beams on, and people go in the wrong direction sometimes. But it's okay.
So just have be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Yeah. And we just got Adero, which is a new hotel up there. It's a Marriott autograph collection.
Oh, awesome!
It has a Scottsdale address because the annex that it's in is actually Scottsdale, but you can't access it through Scottsdale.
That's hilarious.
But it's a Scottsdale address. But so they just shot a reality show up there like last year. Something with the people from Jersey Shores. I don't know who they are.
I missed that one. I don't know how I missed it.
I don't know what it was either. They shut the whole place down for a month and a half, but they just opened up that just recently, and that is absolutely stunning. The hotel is amazing, but it's all built around the hiking, the outdoor living, the stargazing.
I got a few free nights with Marriott. Maybe I'll have to.
You got to check it out. And the pool and the resort are unbelievable up there. So they're starting to bring in a little bit more, amenities for visitors to come.
Yeah, I forgot to ask the location. So you said it's right on the border of Scottsdale. So someone who's coming in from they fly and they land at Sky Harbor Airport. How are they going to get there?
Yeah, so there's two different ways, but you could either shoot right up the 101, the 202 to the 101 and get off at Shea Boulevard, which is in Scottsdale. You just go 202 all the way down to the B line, which is Country Club, take a left. You're 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
The way I drive, 20.
All right, but you are driving with your headlights on, and you go the right way.
And I go the right on the road. The rotary.
The rotary. Yeah, we don't want to miss the rotary. All right, I'll get that figured out.
Yeah.
You already said that the market's kind of different now. Yeah. So if someone's thinking about selling a home, what are some of the questions that they would ask a listing agent to make sure that listing agent's prepared to be able to help them?
Track record is the number one thing right now, and understanding what their track record is inside the area that you live, not, hey, have you sold in, Scottsdale? Have you sold if you're selling in Fountain Hills? Like, get real specific on where they're selling, which community, and see if they've been actually sold, homes in that price range.
Right.
Because I think right now more than ever, a skilled agent is more important than a knowledgeable agent. Doesn't matter years, just knowledgeable is going to win more often than not, because sellers are looking for that. They need to feel that they're well taken care of. They know that you know how to market the home. What are you going to do to market my home, other than the syndications that happen automatically? What is your outreach program? Are you doing the three P's in real estate? Put a sign in the ground, put on MLS, and pray that someone calls. Are you prospecting? What are you doing for me for this $1 million listing or $300,000 listing, right? Obviously in the higher price points, there's a little bit more, marketing that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to do some video. You're going to have to, do some more drone footage and twilight shots and staging. But
things you're not doing from your iPhone.
You're not doing from your iPhone, right? That drives me crazy. Nothing against iPhones. They're awesome. They take great pictures, but I'm not a photographer.
Yep.
I'm a very good negotiator. I know how to go out and, I know how to represent you and sell your home. I can go buy a $5,000 camera, a $10,000 camera. I'm not a professional photographer. Will they look good? Yeah, because of the camera, not because of what I did. Let me negotiate on your behalf.
Yeah, there you go. Bring in a photographer.
Right. Let's bring in a photographer for a few $100.
Well, I think that's really key. And then, you said negotiator. And I think that whether someone's a buyer or seller, they forget that negotiation in a market like this where you can negotiate is the most important thing.
It is. Negotiations right now, it's not negotiations with conflict though. Mm-hmm. That's where the skill comes in, because it's easy to negotiate with conflict.
Yeah.
I just tell you, your price is ridiculous. My client's never going to pay this. Tell me what your client wants to do. You ain't getting nowhere with me on that one, right? So can you approach that with negotiating? It's like, what? Thank you. The home is beautiful. My client loves the home. We're going to have a little bit of work we're going to have to do on the price. What do you think? How do you feel we're going to be with your sellers?
Yeah.
What's your seller looking for? So it's knowing how to approach every situation, buyer or seller, by still representing your fiduciary is to whoever you're representing, and still not, you're telling the truth about everything. It's just how you position it, because we are negotiators and we're problem solvers. And if I alert you as a cross agent, right, what you're going to do? You're going to alert who you represent, and we're not going to have a deal. That's where we lose out. That's where agents are blowing deals right now, when they want conflict because they want to be right. It's not about being right now. It's about working together, but you still owe your fiduciary services to each party and figuring out how to resolve the problems. Because any issues that we have, there's a solution to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think it's just so much different when, when there was, 25 offers on a property, it was really, you had to tell you, if you're inexperienced, all you do is tell them you just got to pay more.
Yeah.
Right. And now they actually, if they don't have even if they're newer, at least if they've got a good team and a good mentor, then they have someone to give them the advice on how to make it win-win. And then you use a word I'm big on, which is fiduciary. I mean, people forget that you have a fiduciary responsibility, not to yourself as the real estate agent, but actually to your client.
Yeah. I mean, even when the market was going berserk, and people thought they didn't need an experienced agent. Yeah. And what I used to say is, I 100% agree. I could put a popsicle stick in the ground, put a little sign that says for sale, and you're going to sell it. But is that going to be the highest? How are you going to handle the negotiations when you have 20 offers? How do you know that every one of them are qualified, or which ones that you want to work with based on the terms, based on the conversations that you had? So yeah, you may have sold it for 10,000, 20,000 over asking, 100,000 over asking the price point, but could you have gotten more?
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell sellers. I go, they're going to sell your home, but I promise you, the way we get your house prepared to show to the marketplace, you're going to see the difference from that. But then also once we get all these offers. Yeah. So in both markets, it's easy, but in that market, a lot of times they're like, I don't really care. I just want it sold.
Yeah. Well, and I just love the fact that you always give transparent advice. Yeah. And I think that some people just sort of forget that that's also what it's about. It's a people business. And if you care and you build relationship, and one of the things that I love is you just are a relationship builder. I mean, I've never bumped into someone in the market who said anything negative. I've always gushed all over how great you are and how you impacted them in some way. And I just don't see that across the board with realtors, unfortunately.
And thank you for that. That's what I pride myself on. And I think I've learned in sports, because you're working with multiple different personalities and ethnicities from all over the world. And the only way you're going to win is if you can figure out a way to work together. And I'll tell you, in the lower levels, it was very difficult. Because, you figure you got a bunch of kids, 17 to 21-year-olds from all over the world that have no life experience, throw them in a room together, 30 of us, and go play baseball together and live with each other every single day. It wasn't pretty. We all got along at the end of the day, but no one cared. People were like, oh, I hope you get hurt so I can go play. That's the way it was in the lower levels. And then as you get through that, and you start going up from rookie ball to advanced rookie to A ball. There's all these levels that don't exist anymore in today's game. But as you get closer to AA, AAA, that's where you start seeing the team come together. And once you learn that, it's really cool to experience that with people that you're with more than your own family. And that's the way I really feel about real estate and how I approach a consumer, but also the agents that work with us, because it's about them. It's not about me. If I can't help you as an agent be successful, why are you going to be with me? Go find someone that will. Yeah. And the same thing with the consumer. If you don't think we're the right team that's going to get you the end result, I'm good. I gave you good information. I'm not going to talk, bad about anybody or any other brokerage. It just wasn't the right fit. At some point, when your listing doesn't sell, you just give me a call back. I have to throw that in. Doesn't sell though. One more time.
No, but that's kind of, you got to poke them in the side a little bit, right? You gotta do a little bit, but right? And it is a challenge. I mean, so I just love that advice and that whole idea of evolution of team and of leadership.
Yeah, it took a lot of self-discovery and me going through, getting into real estate on a team in 2010. Then a year later, partnering with that team owner, and then a year and a half later, starting your own team. And I thought I had it all figured out. I didn't figure nothing out, right? It just,
we learn every day.
We learn every day, but the last 3 or 4 years now, about 4 years now, the team has really evolved into what I've been looking to have this evolve to, and with my business partner, Ben Petro, he's a big contributor to that, for that statement, because it allows me to, we have different roles on the team, but he allows me to go through what I'm good. Remember, we talked about what are your strengths, and me coaching my team instead of training the team is a big difference. I'm not a good coach on my team. And Gary Keller told me this before. He goes, if you're a player coach, your team is impure. And because we were talking about basketball and baseball and Pete Rose and a lot of players in basketball, they would do both. And when you really look back at it, that's what I was doing. I was a player coach. And now if I come in as a trainer instead of a coach, I show up differently. Because when I come in as a coach, I just expect crazy results. Because if not, I'm going to do it and I'll get the crazy results. So get out of my way, right? That's why I'm not a good coach when I'm tied to the results, because I'm making my team impure. So by having Ben now being able to coach, and that's what his passion is, and run our sales force amongst a lot of other things, but I can come out here and do what we're doing here, train, teach, speak. I mean, that's what I love to do, and create new opportunities for people on the team.
Yeah, I love that. You mentioned Gary Keller. So, you're at Keller Williams Arizona Realty.
Yeah.
So, certainly we've got to give a shout out there.
Yes, absolutely. Keller Williams has been my home since I got into real estate.
Yeah.
So I love it there. And it's provided me a pretty nice pathway into multiple other businesses and multiple other opportunities, all in real estate, but got to meet great people.
Well, I mean, I just always think systems and models, right?
That's
and those systems and models apply not just to the real estate teams, they apply to teams you can build outside of real estate. And I think that's one of the things that I've learned the most from following Gary.
It is. It's funny. I was on the call this morning, Zoom call. We opened up a marketing company, and the people that we were doing a discovery call with, it's in the furniture store business. And like I told people, and I know my mother actually runs the company, but so
shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom. Yeah, we were on the Zoom call on a business call today. It was weird. It's the first time ever. But she had, the CFO there and managers and all there. And I said, I go, the good thing about marketing, I go, the principles of marketing and positioning your place and all the stuff that goes with marketing is the same. It doesn't matter what industry that you're in. Systems and models all apply to whatever industry you're in. And KW for me has been really good because baseball, we were a system and model. We had certain plays as a pitcher and as a hitter and defense. We learned from rookie ball all the way up to the big leagues. It was the same because it was a system. Running program, throwing program, weight program, right? So I'm so used to systems and models. And that's what I really enjoy about any company that we have. There's a system and model that we can follow that we know we're going to have success, that I don't have to create. I want to rip off and duplicate the R&D division.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's it. So one of the things I know we want to talk about was your foundation.
Yes.
So how would someone tell us about it, and then how would someone help be part of that?
So my foundation is called the Richard F. Barker Foundation, and the foundation is based on help find missing and exploited children. And what I'll tell you is my good friend Dennis Bearfind, B-A-I-R, that's how he spells his last name, from Pittsburgh. He created this foundation, an old ball player friend of mine, and back in the day, there was milk cartons when somebody went missing. There wasn't all this technology that's around, but milk cartons was the way that people got seen. Well, that went away 20-something years ago, and really technology didn't keep up with helping these kids. Right. It's getting much better now, but he felt the need that he wanted to start this foundation. He's very passionate about it. So he started this in baseball, and we're in all the minor league baseball stadiums throughout the country with big banners of the kids that are missing from that area, because 40 million minor league, all the minor league stadiums, well, now there's less because of COVID, but we had about 40 million visitors to every one of these games throughout the whole year. Yeah. So why not showcase the kids that went missing from that community? So that's what his mission is about. And now he has a high school program that he's getting like a club, and he beta launched it in Florida this year. So he's getting these clubs, just like a Key Club or anything. So we have an ambassador that's going around to the high schools right now, getting them involved to create a division for this.
That's awesome.
So the more eyeballs we can get on these kids that are missing, the better chance that they have. And what our stats are, almost 70% are found.
That's huge.
Not found and deceased, found and alive.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not what we do. It's just it's spreading the eyeball, it's spreading the images out and showcasing these kids. Right. With all due respect, it is showcasing these faces so people can see and make a call.
Yeah.
So,
love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So where would they find more information on that?
Richard F. Barker Foundation.
All right. We'll make sure we get that in the show notes.
Absolutely.
For those of you who are listening. What else did I forget? Anything else that you were hoping we were going to mention that I didn't talk about? Because we covered a lot.
We covered a lot, and I really enjoy spending time and your mindset and energy and what you've done, and just appreciate you inviting me back here.
Oh, I know. That was a great update, and so now y'all know why I had RichBarker back. Great show. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today.